Yo, what's going on guys? It's G-Miners here. With the nerf to protective light from a 50% damage reduction down to only 10%, full charged with light builds like the ultimate endgame build I made last season are going to be a lot less useful, even borderline useless. So with that said, I wanted to make a new build that I think would be great for endgame content, specifically raiding on day 1 with contest mode for the Vow of the Disciple raid. This build will work on all characters, but some will be able to synergize with this better. First, we'll go over the mods. Number 1 is going to be Explosive Wellmaker. Getting a kill with anything that deals explosive damage will spawn a solar elemental well. This works great as grenades, rockets, GLs, and other abilities will all be dealing explosive damage. Mod numero dos is Well of Life. This is an obvious choice as grabbing a solar well will provide us with 10 seconds of constant health regeneration. This is something that will ultimately keep us alive and able to play aggressive for longer durations. Next up is Elemental Ordnance. This will spawn an elemental well that matches our subclass. This is why I mentioned that this build works better on certain characters. Warlock and Titan have very good survivability on solar subclasses, which is what we will be using. Hunters, on the other hand, are pretty hard set to void or stasis in PvE. This now gives us a second way to spawn a well and proc Well of Life. The reason I have this in the build is because Well of Life only heals for 10 seconds. Most well generating mods also have a cooldown over 10 seconds, so I wanted to use 2 of these mods so that I could maintain the healing buff from Well of Life constantly. Mod number 4 is Global Reach. This may seem like an odd choice, but when using an Ikelos SMG, Global Reach still feels amazing. Even in the gameplay I have for this video, you can see enemies die at far ranges from the detonation of the Warmine cell. I have tested these under power at a 20 and even a 30 power deficit, and they will always one-shot red bars within their proximity. This will be great for ad clear on day 1 and pairs nicely with the final mod we have, which is Fireteam Medic. With this, detonating a Warmine cell heals every player in the proximity of the blast. Larger blasts means larger areas of healing. This mod heals you a ton as well, something like 50 or 60% of your total health is returned instantaneously. If you pair this with recuperation on your boots and an orb generating mod on your helmet, you will also have a mini version of this mod each time you pick up an orb. Now, most people are probably wondering why I am not using Well of Tenacity. The simple answer is I personally think this mod is not that crazy. This mod will not be an equivalent replacement for Protective Light. Protective Light would always proc when you lost your shield, which was more than likely a time where you could potentially die. Thus, the 50% reduction would often save your life. With Well of Tenacity, most of the time you are going to spawn this somewhere that is not close to your location. So you will either not be able to pick it up, or you will have to sweat to grab it, taking damage, and then it really won't even be worth it. On top of this, it procs instantly, so even when you do have this mod on, the only time it saves your life is if you are taking a ton of damage within the 7 seconds it is up. And using Elemental Time Dilation only increases this by a few seconds, which is a complete waste of a mod slot, in my opinion. Now, with all this said, I will still probably try to fit Well of Tenacity into certain builds to try and make it work. Seeing as we don't know much about the raid, there could be encounters where Void 3.0 is the best option. Picking these up could be safe and easy to do, and a full fire team could spawn a bunch of these, making it super easy to maintain. I'm not completely ruling this mod out, but wanted to mention why it isn't in this build when most people probably expected it. But with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe I'm overlooking something, I don't know. As far as subclasses go, on Warlock, I run Well of Radiance. On Titan, I run Bottom Tree Hammers. For exotics, the Stag will make getting your rift back super easy, and Stag rifts apply extra resistance to you while in it, even further making this build more focused on your survivability. On Titan, the brand new exotic helmet, Lorelei Splendor, will allow your sunspots to now heal you when you stand in them. And when critical, you will also drop a sunspot at your location. This will be very similar to a healing rift, not quite as strong, but for Titans, this will be another way to get health regen. God roll Ikelos SMGs, like one that Banshee sold last season, also have Demolitionist. So getting kills with this allows you to get more grenades, which means more elemental wells that you can spawn. I also pair this with Witherhoard. Leaving a shot on the ground and swapping to Ikelos allows kills from the Witherhoard to spawn Warmine cells, and the Witherhoard itself counts as explosive damage, so this is the main way I spawn wells from Explosive Wellmaker. This build is super simple, it has great survivability and great ad clear. If you're a well chaining, you can also easily swap the Stag out for Phoenix Protocol. Hope this video helps you guys. Have a good one. Peace.